Hi, this is Jerry with Orscheln. Today we're going to talk about mechanical control cables. What are they? How are they used? Benefits, the different types, applications, and why Orscheln. So what are mechanical control cables? Cables can be divided into two basic programs. One is a push-pull type cable, which does exact that. It pushes a load and it pulls a load from a remote location, much like a transmission shift cable. The other type of cable might be more like a pull-only cable or a tension cable. For example, a brake cable is a tension cable because it only operates in a pull motion. There is a spring to return the cable. It doesn't actually push backwards. That's the two types of mechanical control cables. So when you think about mechanical control cables, there's a few features of a cable that are important to understand. Cables are basically made up of a conduit, or what we call a jacket, that is an outer sheath for the cable to protect it. Inside that is a strand, or a core, that goes through the inside to transfer the motion. Then you have the various fittings and the other things that go on the cable to make it fit where it goes in the vehicle. Looking at the mechanical push-pull cables in our HP cable catalog, you can find some details on the types of cores and conduits, temperature ratings, load ratings, all located in the HP cable catalog for the different sizes we offer. Now, when you talk about the different types of cables, there's a couple things you need to keep in mind. The first thing are the sizes of the cables. There are smaller size cables and larger size cables. Mostly that has to do with the load that has to be transferred with the cables. Obviously, a smaller cable would be a lighter load, heavier cable is a heavier load. But then there's different styles of cables as well. We've talked about the push-pull, very symmetrical, very standard push-pull cables. It's a simple back and forth motion. There's other applications where you may need some different type of motion or a different action for the cable to perform its duty. For example, this is a universal cable. As you can see, it has a T-handle on it. It simply just moves back and forth. Maybe it's controlling a vent or a gate or something very light duty. The second type of cable here is called a vernier control cable. This is a micro-adjust cable that has a rotary motion to it to slowly, incrementally change the travel of the cable. This might be used in a throttle application. This one here is a PTO cable, fairly similar to the universal, a little heavier duty, used for PTO applications. And the final one down here is a twist-a-lock, or a positive lock cable. It also has a T-handle, but it has a unique feature where you can quarter turn and lock the cable into place. These are excellent for situations where you have a high vibration application and the cable will vibrate off of where you are trying to set it. The quarter turn locking keeps it in place. Now, the applications for a push-pull cable is varied. There's lots of things that can use the push-pull type cable. Say, for example, anything with a transmission in it usually has a shift cable if it's a mechanically shifted transmission. So you have different cables that can be used to shift transmissions. Maybe you have an engine that you're trying to control the throttle on. Vernier style or a twist-a-lock might be a good option for an engine. So that opens up a lot of possibilities, anything with an engine or a transmission. But there's other things on those vehicles that may not be involved with an engine or a transmission. Say, for example, a valve control cable. Many times, say on a tow truck, or maybe even if you get off the truck and go to an agricultural piece, you have a front-end loader tractor. Those have valve control cables. And what they do is they transfer motion from a driver input to an output on the spool valve that controls those features of the vehicle. Other things you may find on vehicles, trucks, or other types of agricultural equipment are things such as vent controls or a shutoff valve, something that's closing the air circulation off to the engine, or maybe pulls a choke. Those are the type of things that might be good for a universal style cable. You can also have things that maybe lock something in place. Maybe as almost a brake application, you can use a twist-a-lock that might lock that in place. Trucks often have PTOs. This cable basically engages and disengages the PTO valve. Tow trucks, dump trucks, things like that have valve control cables that control the hoist or the PTO on those trucks to do the functions that they perform. Can also be on off-highway things or road construction types of equipment that have cables that actuate certain different features such as movements of the blade, movements of the lift, the bed, and other things that go on vehicles. It's a very, very broad subject, and you'll find push-pull cables everywhere. So why choose mechanical control cables for your application? Mechanical control cables are very flexible, they're very durable, and they're very easy to configure into multiple kinds of configurations. They're also very cost-effective, as opposed to electronics or pneumatics or some expensive hydraulic applications. And they're very dependable and long-lasting. So why Orscheln for your control cable needs? Orscheln has been building cables for nearly 80 years. We're the experts in cable production, and we build our cables right here in Moberly, Missouri. If you need any assistance, or if we can help you in any way on designing a system for you, please give us a call.